Lauren Giddings had just graduated from Mercer Law School in Macon, Georgia. After years of studying, pushing, sacrificing, she was almost there. The bar exam was just weeks away. Her friends say she smiled more that week, slept a little more. She was looking forward to what came next, a life of justice, of advocacy, of meaning. But someone else had other plans. Lauren's apartment was modest, a second-floor unit tucked in a quiet building near campus, the kind of place that felt safe. Her neighbors were mostly students. Some were familiar, some were friendly. One of them was watching her. He knew her schedule, her habits, what time she came home, when she left the window cracked open, and she had no idea. Born in Maryland, close to her sisters, a former college athlete, loved by her professors. Lauren was the kind of person who asked how you were and really meant it. She wasn't loud, but she left a mark on people. She believed in defending the voiceless. That's why she chose law. That's why her death would feel like such a betrayal of everything she stood for. He lived just next door. Stephen McDaniel, awkward, quiet, one of those people who just sort of blended in. They had shared classes, they'd spoken, just like neighbors do. Lauren never thought much of him, but Stephen thought of her. Every day, every night, in ways no one knew. To the outside world, Stephen was a top student, but his internet history told a darker story: violence, control.
He was obsessed with women, especially women who didn't want him. He built fantasies around them, about watching them, controlling them, and Lauren had become the center of his world. Lauren's sister tried to call her that morning. No answer. Her friends noticed she hadn't been online. She missed plans, no texts, no posts. Her apartment was locked, her phone and keys were inside. But she was gone. Vanished. And no one knew it yet. But the killer had already begun cleaning up. At first there wasn't panic, just concern. Maybe she left town, maybe she needed space. But on day 2, her friends insisted something was wrong. They knew Lauren. She didn't just disappear. And when police arrived, they found something that chilled them instantly. Her front door was locked from the inside. Stephen stayed close to the investigation. He watched the police, joined the search. He even helped hand out missing posters. He was always near the detectives, always listening, because he wanted to know what they knew. And more importantly, what they didn't. 5 days after Lauren vanished, a janitor complained about a smell coming from the trash bins. Officers checked the dumpsters. Inside one of them, wrapped in black plastic, sealed with duct tape, was a human torso. It was Lauren. Only that piece of her would ever be found. That same day, Stephen McDaniel gave a TV interview. He looked shaken, nervous, but the moment the reporter told him a body had been found, everything changed. He gasped, took a step back, froze. The clip went viral. Millions watched it. Because in that moment, everyone could feel it. They were watching a killer crack on live television. The dumpster was right behind the building, behind Stephen's apartment. Detectives got a search warrant. They entered his unit. Everything was neat, too neat, until they opened the bathroom. They found a packaging receipt for a hacksaw, a pair of latex gloves, a box of trash bags, and in his computer's recycling bin, a deleted document titled, "The Death of Lauren Giddings." It wasn't fiction. The document described everything. How he crept in, how she woke up, how he strangled her, slowly, with his bare hands, how he dragged her body into the bathtub and left her there for hours, and then dismembered her. It wasn't written like a fantasy. It was written like a checklist. Stephen was brought in. At first, he was emotionless, then nervous, then confused. He dodged questions, lied, asked for water, but the detectives pressed on, and he began to slip. His words unraveled. He whispered questions. Was she raped? Am I being arrested for murder? Is this going to be on the news? He was more afraid of being seen than being caught. Psychologists would later describe Stephen as having classic signs of antisocial personality disorder. No empathy, no guilt, only impulse and ego. He didn't kill because he was angry.
He killed because he thought he could, because he wanted to, because Lauren's life was never real to him. On his computer, they found more than just the confession. They found photos of Lauren taken without her knowledge, stolen documents from her apartment, a record of everything she did. He had logged her schedule. He had written about how she made him feel invisible. In his mind, killing her wasn't just a crime. It was revenge. He waited until she was asleep. He unlocked the door with a stolen key. He wore gloves, brought a mask, entered silently. She woke up. He panicked, jumped on her, strangled her. It took minutes. Then, silence. Stephen left her on the floor, went home, returned later, dragged her to the bathroom, and got the hacksaw. He didn't know how to do it. He started with the torso, then the limbs. He packed each part in separate trash bags, wrapped them tightly, but he didn't plan far enough. When the bins filled, he stopped and left part of her there, steps away from his own door. They flew to Macon when she disappeared. They held on to hope, held each other. But when the news came, they collapsed. Lauren's mother said she could feel when she was gone, like something had been ripped from her soul. They never got to bury all of her, only what the killer didn't hide well enough. Years passed. McDaniel sat in jail, waiting for trial. He refused to talk. He refused to explain. Then, one day, he took a deal. He admitted everything. In exchange for life in prison, he avoided the death penalty, but he gave no apology, no explanation, just facts. Cold, robotic facts. Lauren was going to be a public defender. She believed in second chances. She believed in helping people like him. That's the tragic twist. She would have defended someone like Stephen. Instead, he took her life, erased her future, and gave nothing in return. Today, Stephen McDaniel sits in Telfair State Prison. Inmates know his name. Guards don't speak to him much. He spends most of his time alone, writing, reading. He is not insane. He is not haunted. He lives, he eats, he sleeps, while Lauren lies buried in Maryland. Even years later, people still watch the interview. That moment when he learns her body was found, that chilling twitch, that crack in the voice. Because in that moment, the world saw evil unmasked. Evil that lived next door, held doors open, waved good morning. Evil in khaki pants and glasses. Lauren didn't flirt with him. She didn't lead him on. She simply lived. But to someone like Stephen, that was enough to spark resentment. He felt entitled, rejected, powerless, and he chose violence because it made him feel strong. For the first time in his life, he felt seen. There were signs. Lauren mentioned weird feelings. She thought she was being watched. She told friends about strange sounds. But no police reports, no complaints, because nothing ever happened until it did. Until it was too late. Police later discovered the building's master key was missing. Stephen had stolen it. He used it to practice entering her apartment. He even tested it while she wasn't home. She never knew. She just thought she was losing things. Lauren never knew she was being hunted. She studied, cooked, laughed, went for runs.
She lived her life while someone watched. Someone who smiled at her, said hi in the hallway, and one day decided to end her life, not in anger, but because he could. The case made national headlines. It wasn't just the horror, it was the betrayal, the violation of trust. The idea that a brilliant, kind woman could be killed by someone she barely noticed. And no one saw it coming. Her law school created a scholarship in her name. Her friends started advocacy groups for stalking prevention and women's safety. Her parents became speakers, not because they wanted to, but because they had to. Lauren's voice was taken, so now they speak for her. There are thousands of murder cases, but this one haunts us because it shows how thin the line is between normal and nightmare, between neighbor and predator, between safety and horror. Lauren Giddings was strong, brilliant, kind. She believed in justice. She died at the hands of a man who believed in nothing. He didn't kill her in passion, he killed her in silence. And even now, the questions still echo.
How well do we know the people who live just next door? If Lauren's story moved you, if her life meant something to you, please don't let it end here. Like this video, share it with someone, and tell us in the comments, how do we protect others like her? Because remembering her isn't enough. We have to speak, we have to care, and we have to never look away again.